All right, so this is going to be the third video in dealing with the Great Depression and some of the repercussions of the fallout. We left off the last one by saying, hey, listen, what happened is we had the stock market crash, and so the bottom falls out. We have runs on the bank because people wanting their money, the bank not having the money because they've invested it badly themselves. The thing we didn't talk about is we did talk about the drop in agricultural prices, but we didn't talk about the climate shift that occurs. Because we have been doing so much farming in the Midwest, we have been overplowing, but we've not been taking care of the soil. So what we end up with there is we end up with a drought, combine the drought with the bad farming techniques, and we end up with the black blizzards. We end up with the Dust Bowl. So not only do we go from farming too much, but now we go to unfarmable land because of the conditions of the Dust Bowl there. So there's a lot of things to rectify. And what happens is this, is Hoover is president, and he gets the blame for quite a bit of this, but honestly, it's not his fault. He inherits this economy, which is just a ticking time bomb. And so when it does fall out, his attitude is like, okay, we're America. We can deal with this. We've always dealt with some of the stuff that comes up. And he believes in Americans. He believes in the idea that Americans are robust, that Americans are ingenious, that Americans can handle anything that comes up. And so literally he does nothing. He thinks Americans will be able to weather the storm and that they're ingenious and productive and they'll do fine. He believes in the economy, the economic ideas of Adam Smith, of laissez-faire economics, which is the government doesn't belong in the economic system. It doesn't belong in the market. And so he doesn't do anything. When he finally comes to realization, like, oh my God, this is a problem, then he has Band-Aid remedies, and Band-Aid remedies aren't going to help. And so when the next election comes up, it's not a mystery that Roosevelt is going to win hands down, because Roosevelt has some ideas. And his ideas are, hey, we need to have something different. We need to have something that is not the same old, same old. And so he's going to offer America a new deal. And the new deal is kind of interesting because he is going to get a group of people together. They're going to say, okay, listen, you guys are all experts in your field. Give me some ideas. What can we try to fix this? And what he's going to do is throw program after program after program at the problem. His attitude is, listen, life sucks now. Everything has got to be up from here. And so that's the New Deal program, is this mix of programs to try to prop up the banks, to try to fix or what's going to become a social system or a social care system. He helps to invent the Social Security, the idea of helping the elderly who can't help themselves. He's going to create the Federal Reserve System to try to regulate the banks. He's going to make sure to pass the Glass-Steagall Act that says the banks that have your money are not investing your money for themselves. That investment banking is completely different than everyday banking, which is going to guarantee that your money is safe on deposit thanks to the Federal Reserve System. And then he's going to work on creating this set of both matched and mismatched programs. The idea is to keep on throwing things at the problem and see what works. He's going to go ahead and create the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is going to build some dams along the rivers to try to control flooding in the Tennessee Valley area, but also they're going to generate power. They're going to generate electricity. So not only is this going to control flooding, it's going to employ millions of people in the long run, because from there we go for the rural electrification program, which is going to provide power to a lot of surrounding territories. So not only that, we're employing people, but now we're making life better. It's going to do the CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, which is going to build everything from roads to national parks to a variety of things. Well, like the Blue Ridge Parkway is what they're responsible for. And the idea is to employ Americans. Doing what? Anything, all right? Anything that we can employ Americans doing, and the government's going to foot the bill. The idea being is you put people to work, you pay them, and then they have money. If they have money, they can buy things. If they buy things, then you need more Americans to work to produce things who will take and buy more things. So the idea is to take and pump money into the economy. And so the New Deal programs, it's what I call the alphabet soup approach. because there are so many acronyms for so many different programs, and he's going to keep on throwing these programs at the problem. And the thing is they're going to help, but there's also programs that deal with fixing the agriculture solution, about propping up the farm prices, about propping up businesses, about fixing the banking issues. And so there's a whole mix of programs that do this, and so you need to get used to looking at those and figuring out what some of they do. And the other problem is he's going to do well and he's going to get reelected. When Roosevelt's in office, in his first 4 years, his first 100 days, he has complete power. He's not an absolutist monarch. He's not a dictator, but the fact is that people want stuff done, so he's going to suggest they do a lot of wild things, and some of these programs are going to work, and some are going to fall on their face. But as far as he's concerned, let's go ahead and throw a problem at it. If it fix it, great. If it doesn't, well, then let's throw something else at it. And where he gets a lot of agreement, he's going to, as he goes on, get some backlash. And the backlash is going to come from the opposing party. Everyone likes to see the problem fixed, but they want to fix it themselves. They don't want the other party to fix it. So what they want to do is eventually they're going to start to oppose his solutions. They're going to start to challenge his solutions, and it's going to end up in the court system. And so he's going to end up on the opposite side of some decisions in the Supreme Court, and so he's going to decide that's a problem as well. So he's going to work to try to fix the Supreme Court problem. Supreme Court doesn't have a problem. They're maintaining the Constitution, but he comes up with the court packing idea, which is going to cause him some issues. Here's the situation. He's going to work to resolve this solution. It's only going to get so far. Okay? He's going to have some people start to run against his ideas. He's only going to get so far. What really drags us out of this Great Depression is going to be the Second World War. Because that Second World War, even though we enter it unwillingly, even though we enter it on the sides of what we think is the right side, we're kind of drug into it unwillingly, because prior to that, we're staying neutral. We're engaging in the Lend-Lease Act. We're saying, hey, listen, we're not going to be in this war, but Britain, France, allies, we will go ahead and we will sell you stuff. Very much the same approach we used in World War I, but we're not going to be neutral. We're going to go ahead and support the Allies. We're going to go ahead and sell them stuff. The Lend-Lease Act doesn't allow us to sell them stuff, because that would make sure that we're actually involved in the war. It allows us to loan them stuff. But here's the thing. If we start loaning materials, we start loaning war products, we're going to have to produce. And the idea of producing means we're going to be employing, and employing means we're going to be pumping money into the economy. And so it's our involvement at this stage that actually starts to pay off. When, after Pearl Harbor happens, when we say, okay, we're fully committed, we're going to start going ahead and throwing soldiers at the problem. We're going to throw the Navy at the problem. Well, we have to ramp up production, number one. We have to go ahead and pull the civilian workforce together. We're going to go ahead and put a few million people in the armed forces. And then again, we're back to feeding them. We're back to supplying them. We're back to outfitting them. When it came to World War I, we ramped up production. When we came to World War II, we said, no, here, hold my beer, watch this. And we showed them really how it's done. Okay? That's a huge part of what really fixes this problem, because not only are the men being paid to work, but now the women are going back to work as well. This is where Rosie the Riveter comes in. We're going to go ahead and employ the women, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, I get a paycheck, my husband get a paycheck, we can go ahead and spend some money, we can go ahead and take care of some of the issues. And the thing is this is an empowering moment for women. The first thing we'll do after the war is kick them out of the factories. But the problem is once you start giving somebody a paycheck, we like money. We like the feeling of being able to spend money. We like that. And so it causes a dynamic shift. This is also going to feed into that civil rights problem we talked a lot about earlier. And so we'll pick this up in the next chapter. So make sure you finish up the reading. And this will be the last video for this chapter.